Sure.
Quick question. You mentioned mission. You recognize the military acronym SMILE.
Oh, I know it.
Situation, mission, intelligence,
Okay,
logistics,
sure.
execution.
Yeah, it's a 5-paragraph op-ord, which has changed a little bit over the years. Sure.
I know it's been a long night for you.
No, that's okay. We don't go with SMILE anymore.
No,
Something totally different.
The troubles me most, and I think it's troubling everyone here,
Yep.
is our economy.
Yeah,
Our
sure.
economy. Some say we're going into a double dip, and why not? We've injected a lot of money, we've caused that rise, and once the money stops going into the government, it comes back down.
Yeah.
Others say it's going to be a depression.
Yeah.
And I have strong belief, being a small business consultant, that probably is what the reality is going to be.
A lot of people say
About
it's
5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
30% of our population is employed by state or federal government. Manpower is forecasting that our workforce is going to go from 40% temp to 60% temp by 2015. That means 60% of the people in this country, out of our total workforce, will be temps. What are you going to do about that?
Well, I'm going to wave my magic wand, I guess.
Seriously, what are you going to do? What's your mission?
Yeah. The thing that has to be done to get our economy back on track, to give consumers confidence once again, right, is to allow you to have the power to pull America out of this economic slump. The only way we're going to do that is to cut back on spending in Washington. Right, I'm talking in very general terms. Cut back on spending and give you more of your money back. It's really I mean, if you're going to look at things in the sense that we need to start taking some immediate actions, those are the first 2 steps. The mission, ultimately, is to get back to full employment, or to a natural level of unemployment anyway, which is significantly less than half of what we're currently at.
About 4.8%.
Yeah, it's between 4.5%
You realize
and
with
5.5%.
30% going to 40% employed by the federal government, you know what that's approaching, don't you?
Yeah, that's a step in the wrong direction. That's not
Well, I talked to some
actual.
communists in
Yeah.
1995 who were ex-communists. Okay, they came over to this country,
Yeah.
and I asked them privately what it was like, and they said, well, we pretended to work, and the government pretended to pay us.
Right.
Okay? And that's what it's coming to.
And eventually you get to a point where all the money that's being paid, all the money that's being taxed is all just in one big cycle.
Yeah.
And it's not contributing anything. It's just spinning its tires, and our economy sloughs off to nothing.
Got 2 more questions for you, Dave. 'Cause I know it's been a long night, so.
Just started.
Yeah, that's right. You're just warmed up. We've talked about the Federal Reserve before. Have you changed your position? Do you support a full audit of the Federal Reserve, and then do you support its elimination?
Yeah, I do support a full audit of the Federal Reserve, and I recognize. Okay, how do I set the stage for this? The Federal Reserve, as it's functioning right now, is wrong. It's the way it is being carried out, the way it's controlling our money is absolutely 100% wrong. Now, let me start qualifying this by saying that. Break your mind of how it's functioning right now, and think of a different type of central bank that is actually controlled by us, as opposed to other private banks. It's by the people, yeah, through the Congress. It's not controlled by private institutions. It's not a private institution itself. So it's a completely different type of bank that allows us to regulate our currency. That is something I'm in favor of, because from economic principles, that allows you to not have a cap on how large you can grow your economy. Okay, going to a finite system of currency, unfortunately, does put shackles on how large your economy can grow. Now, is it likely that if we went to a gold standard, for example, that we would reach the ceiling of where our economy could go in our lifetimes? Probably not. Is it likely in the next several generations? Probably not. But in America, you can never limit your dreams or limit the opportunities that you have by putting shackles on something or putting a ceiling on something. And if we are able to control our own system of currency, if we're able to control our own economy by having a central bank that we in turn control, that can be an asset as opposed to something that detracts from our economy or from our economic strength. But understand, please understand, it takes a fundamental shift of mindset from how our Federal Reserve currently functions to something it's wholly more efficient and much more controllable. Anything that even replicates what we currently have in the Fed can't go on because it has way too much control over our daily operations or our daily lives, much of which we don't even see. It's imposed on us.
All right, well, I guess there'll be 3 more questions.
All right, good.
On
Throw
the
a
same
fork in
lines,
for good measure.
so not necessarily a gold standard. Would you
Yeah.
support that the currency is backed by something? Because okay, there's a finite amount of gold, but
Yep.
okay, silver or something tangible.
Well, something tangible always has a finite amount to it, though, Dan, right? So that's the dilemma, right? Do you back it on molecules of water? Well, there's almost an infinite number of molecules of water. I'm just throwing an example out here for our discussion. Obviously, that's not something you could possibly do. But there is a finite number of that even. And when you have a finite amount of something that backs your currency, you potentially limit where your economy can go.
So 4 more questions.
Told you.
What prevents the federal government from then changing,
There you go.
arbitrarily changing the value?
That you and all of us controlling how our Congress runs the bank.
But we can't.
Well,
Look at what they've done just since Obama's been in.
we can. Look what we're doing right now. Look at why you're here.
I see you as a voice crying in the wilderness. That's what I really see. All I see around me is a wilderness.
I'll cry louder.
I respect you. I truly do. But all I see is wilderness.
Here's the thing. It takes. It is difficult. It is difficult being a lone voice crying in the wilderness. Sure, absolutely. It's not fun. It's challenging. There's always a temptation to take the easier way out, which is the wrong way. But that's not how I'm wired. That's not how I operate. And that's how you won't let me operate that way. You expect better of me. You expect better of people that you send to Washington. And if we're ever going to get to a point in this country's history where a few more people with conviction, a few more people with principle are going to go to Washington and actually change it the way it's supposed to be, for you, for all of you, it won't just be a lone voice. It'll be a chorus of voices. It'll be so annoyingly loud that you'll be happy to hear it.
Do you agree?
How would you?
No, I disagree.
How would you define the difference between fair trade and free trade, if there is a difference?
The difference between fair trade and free trade. Well, that's an interesting question because I think it might be semantics. It might be our own definition of each. Okay, I think they're inherently the same.
That's my question to you. How do you define the difference? I'm not asking about the rest of them.
No.
What's your definition?
Well, I understand, but in order for us to have a successful conversation, I need to, I guess, set the boundaries for how we're going to talk about it.
No, I don't want a conversation. I just want an answer.
Okay. I think they're the same. When I look at free trade,
That's good enough.
from an economic perspective, it has to inherently be free, fair, and vice versa.
Well, I think the trade, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the trade right now between the United States and China is free trade, not fair trade.
Okay.
And part of what's going on is that you can pay very, very low wages, very low environmental regulatory issues and all of those type of things in China. So they're able to charge a far lower price than the United States economy can charge back.
Right.
To make that fair trade, what you would do is what they used to do, tariff and imports, is that the United States government would say, that's fine, you can sell into our country, but to make this fair trade with the United States, we're going to value that product the same as a product going out of the United States, which then tells China, hey, you know what I should do anyway, is just meet the standard, because they're going to buy all American products because they're far better.
Yep.
And that's the difference, I think, between fair and free trade.
Okay. Or what we can do is make the production playing field more level.
Absolutely cannot compete with China right now on that capacity.
Correct. Right.
Cannot.
Right now we can't. Exactly. But we should be able to. Right. In fact, we should be able to beat China.
How do you